That is so funny. So like I hit go live and I'm waiting. I'm waiting for my phone to give me like a notification, right? Doesn't happen. Oh yeah. Which camera am I supposed to look at? Okay, so appropriately titled. There's the camera that I'm looking at is here. Of course, I have them set up now to where if I look either way. Okay, so I hope that that's shared the way that I intended for it to, because I, you know, learning, growing pains, processes. And I took this mug out because I said to myself, if I'm gonna go live, and see, it didn't do what I wanted it to do, which means that I didn't do what I wanted it to do. So anyway, I got this mug out. I got this mug out. Which camera? Because this mug, my goddaughter gave me this mug. My goddaughter Nicole. And I have a few people in my life who have given me things over the years that have lasted, have long-lasting healing benefits, and Thou Shalt Not Snivel is one of them. I had a ball cap. Actually, I do still have the ball cap. I think it's somewhere in my closet that says the same thing. So, considering that I cried for 30 minutes or so of my 45 minutes live yesterday, I thought, you know, reminding myself of what this mug says and what that ball cap says is probably good timing. And so, if you're watching, StreamYard doesn't tell me who's watching. This is not like Facebook. Like I'm on Facebook, but it's streaming there. So I have the mug in front of some pieces that I've done. They're at different stages of work. The other thing I wanted to talk about, I'm so in love with this piece. So I have some more things I'm going to do with it. And basically it's the sun, and there's children holding hands all around it, and I have these sun rays coming from it. This is actually going to go with the haiku that was in the book Magic Man. It was a haiku I had written inspired by Van after a conversation we had had. And the haiku is, all that is needed is the wondrous laughter of children in joy. And so it definitely was one of those ones that absolutely has to be in the haiku section of this book. So this is done. And then I have another one. I did this today on my lunch break. Actually, I did a lot of the blue yesterday. This goes with a haiku. This is the original. If you follow me, you might have seen the digital version online. But this haiku, oh, I don't know. I don't think I have this one printed on the sheet. But anyway, you can find it online. But it's basically about being a sweet girl, but also being tough when needed or strong when needed. And yes, I do use the term cut a bitch in the haiku. Bitch is a word I usually actually don't like using, but I thought it was pretty cool. It was another haiku I wrote a couple months ago. So this is the original sketch, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to leave her like this. And I say pretty sure because the other reason I wanted to come on was for my own posterity. I love that word now. It's one of my favorite words. I said it last night in my broadcast, and I made myself go look up the definition to make sure I used it correctly. And I did. And so, so anyway, so this whole project with this book, with this, oh, hi, Pops. This whole book has made me like question everything about myself in so many different ways. And where's the rest of what I want to show you? Oh, so what was really frustrating more than anything, this was the one I did yesterday. And this one is next for me to add ink. This one I'm going to add detail. I also inked this live yesterday. This one I need to ink. And this one I need to ink. I've been busy. And so what, okay, so I got distracted. So my very first job of any kind, where I was actually paid a salary, was at the YMCA when I was 17 years old. I was in foster care, and it was a job I was given through the JTPA program. And I loved it because this was, I got some work to do, right, Pop? I know. But get this, look. So this, it's so funny. I watched Pops open today, a box today, and this came today. So this whole project brought me way back to 17 years old, because when I was at the YMCA, there was no such thing as a copier. Yes, I'm that old. Actually, I think, no, I don't think we didn't have a copier. I know there was no copier at this fucking YMCA. And so we had to make all the flyers. We had to make all the flyers for events and for the guests and for, you know, giveaways or special whatever's there were. We had to make the flyers. And so at this first job, at 17 years old, I got to learn how to use a printing press. Like the old, and I don't even honestly know what it was called. I probably don't. Ooh, I love this. So this came in it. This came in my, it's one of those, I'm sure there's a technical name for it, but it's a ruler. Anyway, as I was doing these pieces, my head went straight back. Xerox machines. Well, we didn't have one. We did not have one. We had what was called, I don't know the name of it, but it was a big wheel. It was this huge, huge wheel, and it would get super, super hot, and it would ink the paper. And we had to typeset the designs, typeset the letters, typeset the picture, typeset everything that was going to go on that. Had to be typeset on this massive master thing, and it went into this machine, and then we would load it with paper, and it would roll the ink onto the paper. There was not a copier. Someone's messaging me. My God, Mama. So this project, I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to do illustrations, I'm going to do them my way. I had to so I was going crazy. I was literally going crazy. I'm going to put these out here. Ooh, look at all these fun things. I found myself comparing myself to people that don't draw like me, don't sketch like me, don't art like me. And I found myself comparing myself, and I was driving myself crazy. I had to order these online. I went to literally 4 different stores in Ramona, and not one single one of them even had like a little geometrical thing. Not a one. None of them had a protractor, whatever that's called. Anyway, so I'm doing these pieces. This is what really got me to order those that I just showed you guys, was this one right here. This one is the piece for Dead and Gone. And I realized the other day that I was sketching, and I had the piece upside down most of the time, so, which is fine. I could see it, but the people who were watching probably weren't really. They're like, we don't know what you're drawing, or we don't know what you're sketching. But this is for Dead and Gone, and it's a take on a mausoleum graveyard thing. And so I'm so grateful that I thought about the YMCA, because, ooh, didn't put those pieces back where I wanted. I don't know if you were on earlier, Beth. Let me see. I did this one today. This was the one I did today on my lunch break. I did the ink and the final parts today at work, because I don't smoke anymore, but I wanted to go outside, because I knew, the one thing I knew about going down to Old Town and working at the office was that I was going to want to go sit outside in the sun, like I always did. And so I brought that with me. I brought it with me on purpose, because I was like, I got no intention of relapsing on those. It took 13 years to give that. I think it's 13. I'd have to look it up. So anyway, so this one, I got these pieces, and I haven't even, as you guys saw, I haven't even opened them yet, but I wanted to use, see, like, there's things in here like these. Oh, and I was like, you know, like, my head immediately went to, for some reason, from some stupid fucking obnoxious reason, I'm quitting down to a 3 a day. Nice. I finally allowed my doctor to give me Chantix, and I was shocked. It actually does what whatever it, all of the things that people say it does, it did. It 100% did. So, as I was doing this piece for Dead and Gone, it was occurring to me, and I probably won't do any with ink right now because I want to use pencil first. I don't know, I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't even know what these are. What did I order? What do I have in this bag? What's in the box? When the box came, I was hoping it was my author's copy of Magic Man. Ooh, I think these are mechanical pencils. Yes, they are. Check that out. I scored, man. I just hit, it was like the biggest collection of the most number of pieces for the least amount of money, and I hit add to cart. I had no idea these were in there. That's rad. Okay. And 2 things of lead. So going back to this whole process, because I've had so many times where I was about ready to give up, about ready to quit. I have actually considered taking the haikus and making them into a different, separate thing, and not having them in the book. Having them into, you know, because it's so cool. Like, I started with the haikus because my head said, oh, let's do the easy stuff. And it was like, well, you know, it turns out that the haikus are not, they're not exactly, it's not any easier. I'm assuming. Oh yeah, look at that. That's cool. Okay. So yeah, so like one of the other things I was thinking about was that part of why I had some frustrations is that part of why I do what I do, or the way I do what I do, is as cheaply as I can do it. And I just am not gonna spend a whole lot of fucking money on shit I don't have. I am going to figure out how to do what I can do without having to do that. That's just what I want to do. And this piece, actually, I was thinking about it. At first I was like, should I put this on a different piece of paper? And then I thought, nope, I'm going to incorporate this line as part of the piece. I've already got it to flush to that line everywhere else, and I will get rid of this top part. Or maybe I won't. I haven't decided. Working with some of ooh. See, this is where I'm like, what do I want to do there? I've never used these, and I'm kind of, they're kind of cool. I have no idea, but I'll find out. I will find out. So, I came on because I was like, you know what? This is why, not why, but this is the other thing. I didn't know which one of these I wanted to work on. I didn't know, and I was like, oh, I don't know what I want to do, so I'm not going to go online. And then I thought, no, they can watch me stumble. They can watch me shuffle through pages to figure out which one I want to do. This one is the world with the man and the woman. I'm taking it too because of one of your posts. Oh, good girl. It was, you know, it took me forever. I kick and scream. You know me, Beth. I got to throw a tantrum first. I don't trust anything. I don't trust people, and I'm not good at taking pills. I can't stand I mean, you know, after you've been clean and sober for 10 years, it's like the idea of putting anything in my mouth on a consistent basis. Where did my brain go with that one? Okay. Anyway, so the other thing that came to mind when I was thinking about the YMCA, and I was thinking about how we used to do those pieces for those flyers and stuff, was you know, it didn't leave much room for error with the fact that it was, you know, because once it was printed, once it was in that machine and it was going, you were pretty fucked if you messed up. And it made me remember some of why, because that was my first, like, I had kind of maybe sketched in class, I had drawn on books, I'd drawn on my notebooks, I had done different art in different ways up until that point, but that was the first time I had ever done it where I needed to actually give a concern. And now that wasn't necessarily me sketching and drawing, but it did take a creative artistic eye, especially with some of the graphics, because there were some things that we had, I don't even know what they're called, like, you know, if I cared more, I'd probably go look up the names. I really don't care what they're called, but whatever those little things were, the cutouts, probably similar to that, similar to those. We had like stencils and cutouts, we had things that they had used before. Oh man, I almost had the name of what my training supervisor lady called them. And that was cool. My first boss was actually a really nice person. She was actually someone who was super nice. And as I was going through this, I was thinking to myself, I need to start writing down, or maybe included in the book, the names of people that come to mind when I'm talking about my foster care years or growing up, because I forget that there were adults that gave a shit. There really were, and she was one of them. And for the life of me at this very moment, I don't remember her name, but it may very well come to me. I don't have the greatest memory, but sometimes, you know, I'll probably be in the middle of something else, doing something else totally unrelated, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, that was her name, or someone else will have the same name, and then suddenly it'll come to mind. So one of the other things I was so that whole thing with, you know, there was really no room for error with the way that those flyers were done. So I'm starting on this project. And, you know, I get to own the fact that there were some things I just did not have to worry about being precise about, because I paint. And what I don't do in sketch or ink, I paint it to what I want. And I don't have that luxury with the way I want these to look. And that was another thing I had to go, well, how do I want these to look? Am I doing these in a way that suits me and my creative process, or am I just doing it to please others? Like, what is that? What was driving that? And I realized that, yeah, some of it was being driven by this perception I had allowed into my head from not anybody else. Nobody told me to perceive anything that way. It was just my own head. So I luckily had a conversation with my friend Leslie this week, and she reminded me that, you know, because she was in art school, and oh my God, she has a resume I can't keep track of in my head. The woman is a genius. You know, she could tell you much better than I can what she has studied, but she said that if she had to label my art in a category, she would put it in abstract realism, which, you know, I didn't go to art school, so whatever the fuck that means. And she explained it to me, and she's like, you know, it's based on real life. It's based on something we'd see in reality, but it's not. It's rarely exact. I'm not someone who does a lot of portraits. I don't do exacts. I do, like, and that's how she explained it. It's an abstract view of what I see, of something in real life. I actually remembered to make a pot of hot tea. I do have a box of tissues next to me, just in case. It feels like I've been online forever and haven't gotten anything done, but then I forgot I showed you guys my treats from my shopping, my fun stuff that came in the mail. The other thing I have that I might pull out and show you guys is the light box that I got. I am going to just go ahead and finish the outline on this. I think what I'm going to do with detail stuff is I still want to be vulnerable, and I still want to do what I promised to do, my followers, the people that I hear from. You know, there's a few people that private message me every single day. And if they didn't, I would have convinced myself a long time ago that this was a pain in the ass that was just not worth the time. But I get told enough by even just a handful of people. And so, yeah, okay. So, despite the meltdown yesterday and all the tears, here I am again, drawing and sketching. And so I knew, okay, see, that we're going to call that a Bob Ross happy mistake, and we're just going to go back over that little line. I also got the stylus pen in that's actually for my iPhone. I had one my friend Sherry sent me, which works great with the iPhone. But the one that came for today, the iPhone one, it has this little cool disc thing at the tip of it. What did I do with it? I wanted to show it off. But anyway, it I don't know where it went. Oh, I better find it. I spent way too much money on that thing to lose it already. Actually, it wasn't that expensive, but I did have to wait. That took the longest to get here. You know? Because, of course, it's an Apple product, an actual Apple product coming from actual Apple. That, of course, takes the longest to get here. The things I ordered from Amazon that have Asian writing, you know, building furniture template. These templates, who the Lord knows what they're really for, but so yeah, I feel like I'm still talking all over the place, but that's okay. If you guys find I get lost in something I said was making you curious, go ahead and throw in a comment and ask me, because I might just forget what I was about to say. But I was thinking that I'm going to just ink the outline, because what I find with the fine detail stuff, I don't want to be distracted when I'm doing that stuff, because when I was doing one of the other pieces, one of the ones I finished, like the girl, with the knife today, I'm glad that I was outside and I had my headphones on and I had music in my ear, and I just went to town on her, and that is something I have to remember going through this process, is that there's going to be things I'm perfectly willing to share and show and be like this with. It's fine. But there's going to be points in this process where I'm going to need to just get into the mode that works for me as an artist, as a painter, as an artist. Because, yeah. The other thing that was dispelled today, and oh my God, the best part about going down to Old Town and working from my office today was being reminded. I got reminded really nicely of what I've spent 32 years building. You know, I it's just working one day in the office, but it feels, I work every day. I talk to my boss every day almost. I deal with my people almost every single day. I do my job almost every single day. Some days I just, I feel I'm working. Some days I feel like I'm not, because as some people know, I was going through the grief of a loss of someone, and now I'm going through a breakup. So there you go. No, I'm not gonna cry. Fuck. Okay, no crying. I'm so over fucking crying. Thou shalt not snivel, right? Remember, I put this next to me today so that I can remember. I mean, and it's okay to cry. It's okay to cry. If you're watching, if you watch this later, don't think I'm saying that you can't cry. I mean, you can throw a whole full-fledged meltdown tantrum like I did yesterday for 30 plus minutes. I cried solid while I was sketching. You do what you gotta do, man. Do what you gotta do. So today I got home from that drive, which I don't want to go back to doing it every day. I need to, this needs to kind of move. Oh, I am going. No, that was okay. I was going the wrong way with it. All right. And I actually enjoyed it. I even didn't mind sitting on the 8 today on my way back. Part of it was because I got to listen to Joshua's podcast. And I post it. If you follow my spotlights, I usually try to share his feed. So he had someone on, and I couldn't participate, but he knew I was there, and to me, that's enough. That's enough. I just love hearing him interview people. It's exciting, and it also gives me a connection to people. And I said this yesterday. Watching live podcasts or live feeds or live people doing things live, this is also another reason why I'm on here doing this, is that it gives me a connection in a way that I hadn't expected by watching these. And I like it. It suits me. It suits the loner, isolator, introvert, but yet I still get to be connected and have interaction with humans, interaction with people. And I said humans like that, I think a couple weeks ago to someone, and I'm trying to remember who it was, and they're like, you say that like you're not human. And I thought that was funny, because it kind of feels true. There are some days where I really legit feel like I'm just a visitor here. I'm no Superman, but I kid you not, sometimes I feel like I don't know who you people are, and I don't know where you came from, but I am not part of the human race. I am a transplant from some other alien country, culture, something. Something. I'm convinced. Oh, when I was younger, I used to think that I was a Vulcan. Or dreamt I was a Vulcan, wanted to be a Vulcan. I would have done anything. I would have done anything to have been able to have like 20 million Vulcan babies with Spock. He was my favorite. Spock was my favorite. He was my first love, other than my dad. And then, I know loving my dad was a whole different emotion, but and it definitely wasn't sexual in nature, but Spock was the first man I ever loved, like for real. Like, as far as I was concerned, he was my end all be all, was Spock. And Leonard Nimoy himself too, as well. As I got older, that did not change. My attraction to him, my affection for him as a human, as a person, the things that Leonard did as a man. I wish I could remember the name of it. He was a photographer, and if you like photography, you should go look him up, because oh my God, his work is incredible. One of these days, ooh, that's a great idea. I love when I'm talking out loud and something comes to mind. My poet, one of my favorite poets, he did some poetry where all of the poetry was dedicated to people that he admired. And I was thinking about that. I was like, I should take a Leonard Nimoy photo and do a painting, a Leonard Nimoy Spock inspired painting. It'll probably be a naked woman, because he was a huge advocate for women feeling confident and comfortable in whatever body size they were, whether they were big or not. One of the projects he did, I can't remember the name of it, and it's killing me that I can't remember the name of it, but it's all of the women in the photos are heavier women, and they're naked, and they're just gorgeous. The pictures, the women are gorgeous anyway, but the way he took their pictures isn't just incredible. It's just absolutely incredible. The man had such an eye. He had such a way. He was so gifted. And I'm like, I could talk about Bach all damn night. In the course of my life, I've only had a few people that I've known personally die, that like died to the point where it brought me to tears. There's been a few, more than I want to talk about right now. I'm not going to try to go there. Not again. That was last night. If you didn't catch my meltdown last night, you can go catch it if you really want to see me cry. But for otherwise, the people that made me completely lose my shit when they died was Leonard Nimoy, Princess Diana, Prince, Mother Teresa, and I know I'm forgetting someone. Maureen O'Hara. Yeah. Mo. I loved her. But the one that I cried the hardest, the absolute hardest at, like I had to pull off of the side of the road. I was actually in the drive-thru at Jack in the Box when I saw a newspaper. There was a newspaper back in the day. That's how old I am. There were an actual newspaper stand, one of those machines. You put the quarter in and you got your paper out. And I'm in the line for the food, and between where you order and you get your food, they had one of those so that people can buy their paper from their car. And that's when I saw the headlines about Princess Diana, and I just lost it. I lost my shit. She was the first. I think she died before Mother Teresa. I'm not sure. I think she did. And then I'm fairly certain Leonard didn't die until a couple years ago. Oh, Junior Seau, he was another one. Junior Seau's death made me cry because I had actually met him. So I think that I would have, no, I still would have cried. Even if I hadn't had met him, I still would have cried. His death was hard. I didn't cry when I heard about Robin Williams. But I've cried since. That's what's a real trip. Like, I can't watch Good Will Hunting, and when I first ever saw Good Will Hunting, I would cry because I related to the foster kid, because that was me. Only worse. No offense to the movie or the writers, but the things that were done to me and what happened to me were worse than what Will went through. But comparison is the thief of all joy, Dory, so shut up. Anyway. So I used to relate to that movie because of Will, but then as I got older, I related to the guy, to Robin Williams' character. I didn't have a husband die, but I'm at that age of his life where he was convinced there was not going to be anybody else for him. And I don't know that I'm at that point necessarily, but I certainly have lost any kind of hope, really, I think. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that, really, because I keep trying. I keep getting my heart broken, so I guess I have some hope. I guess. Is that what that means? Hey, wait, hold on. I know I did show, this mug is the one I'm drinking my tea from, and it says hope. So, for my one viewer watching, I guess I do have some. I've got some. Whatever it is. But otherwise, so I'm watching Good Will Hunting. This was, I had seen it when it came out, but I'm watching it not long after Robin died, probably a year or so, because I showed it to my oldest son, and it's my oldest son's favorite movie now. And in the middle of the movie, I'm realizing Robin Williams is gone. And I know this. I've known this. And I'm and I lost my shit. I lost my shit like I had just heard about it. It just, I don't know. Maybe it was because I'm watching just the genius craft that he had. The comics, and this is just my theory. People out there can tell me I'm wrong. But the comedians that switch to dramatic acting are usually way better at dramatic acting than being a comedian. And Robin Robin was definitely fan-fucking-tastic at either one, honestly. I don't think it matters. Ooh, I get to use my new ruler. I get to use my new ruler. I'm so excited. You know what I love about this ruler is it's super heavy, which tells me that I'm not going to have to worry about it freaking moving. Look at that thing. I love it. I love it. Someone out there, you know what these little triangle ruler things are called? You tell me, because it's fucking rad. Like, I wish I had owned one of these before. I didn't expect it. I quite honestly did not look at everything that was going to be in the box. Damn it. That's okay. I'm going to do the line again. The cool part about allowing my brain to finally get willing to learn some digital art stuff, digital photography, or not photography, digital photo editing and such. I can convert one of these to a quick black and white smooth line illustration appearance the way that I want for the book in just a few clicks. Really, it doesn't take much time. And I'm learning that what I do here translates in a whole bunch of different ways in the software. And so, like when I did the picture of the girl, sweet girl, today, when I added the ink, I went back and I did some shading with the pencil that if I were painting, I wouldn't have done that. I probably would not have done that. And that was super cool, was figuring out, oh, you know, if I do the shading this way, when I do the conversion to the different formats in this photo editing software stuff, I'll get this appearance, I'll get this different this, I'll get this different that, and then the lighting, and oh my god, my brain, I just was so in love with it today. I was like, okay. So basically I got to be okay with a lot of the struggles I was going through mentally about this whole thing, mostly emotionally, honestly. And it's kind of funny because it's keeping me from having to focus on the poetry. And I know that doesn't make any sense. It's like, wouldn't you want to focus on the poetry? It is a poetry book. And I'm like, well, the poetry's written. It's already written. And, oh, son of a bee. Okay, let me get this. I'm going to get this line. What is wrong with it? So the poetry is written. I have like 2 pieces that I do need to really kind of sit and gel on them and do a little bit more than just edit them, like to do a little more than just make sure the grammar's right. I think I want to, oh, this is weird. It's probably my board. My board's not flat or something, but it, Other than that, though, the book is written. It's just a matter of adding the illustrations. And I think that was my other the other thing that I was struggling with about this whole project was that it was done. Like, it was fucking done. And then I'm like, oh, now it's not fucking done. And I can't, you know, those periods of time just kind of usually bug me. I like completing things. There was a time where I wouldn't complete nothing, and then now that I can, and I do, I go through it, I was like, oh, that's part of why this is bothering me. It's bothering me because the book is technically done, but now it's not done because I started this project. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do to this one for today. And it's still like, oh yeah, okay. It's so funny. When I look at it on the little thing, I'm like, how the hell can they see any of that? Well, I guess you can see it. This goes, if you missed it yesterday, this particular piece goes with the poem about 2 lovers that live really far away from each other who can't be near each other. And this was written actually last year for a friend of mine who lives on the East Coast. And he, like Minnie, and I no longer speak. You know, it happens. It happens. I have no idea how this will work with a camera, so we will find out. We will find out. And I will put her this way. Oh, I guess you guys can see that. So I have, this is the blue one. I don't need this, never mind. I'm like, wait a minute. I traced my own piece because I got sick and tired of fucking up her ear. And I'm like, all right, fuck it. And so I on this, see, and then I even did it on this one. The ear was driving me crazy. So there we go. I'm gonna try this pencil that came in my cute little kit today and see what happens. Okay, I'm gonna try to stay away from that ear. Because, you know, these don't have erasers on them, so I'll have to remember that. Oh, okay, so I normally use just a regular pencil, and which is fine. And I had bought some mechanical pencils in my cheapy-scape way that I do, and they were okay, but I threw like 4 away in a row because I went to use them and they wouldn't stay. The pencil lead kept like going back into the pencil, and so anyway, I threw them away. So I'm glad that this kit that came today had this one in here, because what I do like about mechanical pencils as opposed to the regular ones is I have a tendency to press really hard, and these keep me from doing that. And I don't know if it's because my head knows that it's a mechanical pencil and it's not connected to an actual number 2 real like wood base or something. I don't know. But anyway, can you guys see? Okay. So this little girl is, she doesn't really exist actually. So I took a visual of the daughter of a friend, and real simple little, mostly for the hairstyle. And then I got the idea for the the dress part that's down there that I'm going to get to. That came from the cover of a book I read when I was a little girl. And then I got some of her facial features from Tasha. I pulled out one of the picture I have of Tasha. Tasha was my roommate in foster care. I'm going to turn this around. I know it'll be upside down, you guys. I'm sorry. But it'll be closer to the camera. So Tasha was my roommate in foster care, and so I went, and I didn't want to have her look exactly like Tasha, but I used some of the facial features. And of course, the one thing that I didn't do is, and I'm okay with it, I just hope I don't ruin the actual finished product when I get to the ear. The fucking ear. This is actually one of the few pieces that I've done so far that is as literal as I can imagine it being. Like, I haven't done a lot of tweaking to it to make it off. It, as it's, I wouldn't call this one abstract, as my friend Leslie explained the differences to me, but so we will see what happens as I go through the process, because this one is definitely it is the most ambitious one I've done yet so far for this collection. It's a real depiction of a little girl, and it goes with the haiku about, I can't remember. That's going to bother me. It's going to bother me. Oh! My godmama will love this, because she knows this. This haiku is called Jewels of His Grace. And the haiku is, jewels of his grace crowned royal with lavender adorn his children. So she's not wearing a lavender crown. I thought about putting a crown on her in my sketch. And then I was like, oh no, but I want this hairdo. I want the hair more than the crown. And I mean, I could incorporate a crown in here if I really wanted to, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to leave her just like as, yeah. The other thing I was deciding or thinking about with this one is I think I'm going to take a picture. Once I do the pencil to where I like it, and you know, with the shading, and I told myself when I get to this piece, I'm going to do this one the way I used to do my paintings back when I did my paper art. And I basically will sketch it in pencil until I'm done in my visual and it looks like I want. And I'm going to take a picture, and if I can convert it to be what I visualize for the book without inking her, I'm going to leave it without any ink. That was another thing that came to me this week, was I'm like, wait a minute, I don't have to ink these. You know, again, going back to, you know, just things in my head and this whole process and doing this whole, it's not really a new medium per se. The digital part is, for sure, the digital stuff. But I was like, you know, no one in the world said you had to put ink on these. And, you know, I may want to leave them in the sketched form. So I'm going to do that with her. I'm going to do as much of the sketch as I want and take a picture. And if I can, like I said, if I can successfully get the image, the view of what I'm imagining for her without having to add any ink, I'm not going to add any ink to her. And then part of it is because I don't want to ruin her fucking ear. Haha. I know. I'm not, at least I'm being honest, you know? I didn't, nobody trained me. Well, I do watch a lot of people online sketch and draw and sketch and draw. Definitely used to, more so than now, but oh, I like. Okay, let me go around. I'm going to go around and do the outline so that I can play. I guess it's so cool. Okay, that was another thing that came to mind, was that when I'm doing my art, I always feel like there's a point in the piece that's work, and then I get to play. And I get to, like right now, I consider this work. This is like, it's like I'm building the foundation that I'm gonna brick or mortar or whatever's gonna come after, whatever you put after the foundation when you're building a house. This is my foundation. Like, I'm laying concrete right now is kind of where my head goes. And I like it. I like this part of the process, but I get super giddy when I play. So like today when I did the final parts of Sweet Girl, that was play. That was super play. That was some super fun play, because I had her in blue like this. I had her ready to go. That was another thing I'm told myself after crying for over 30 minutes online last night. I'm like, you know what, Dory, you're going to have to just do some of these pieces offline. You know, you're just going to have to do what comes to you when it comes to you, because I'll never get this done if I'm only waiting to do it online, because I work a full-time job. I don't have time to do that. So, definitely will try to come on as often as I can, when I can. Mainly today I did out of my own need to kind of like, you know, if you fall off the horse, you get back up, and I don't ride horses. But I like that metaphor. And so that was kind of the thing, and it's no accident that my mug that says "Thou shalt not snivel." It's no accident that that's where my pencils and my stuff are next to me. Although that's actually that's one mug of pencils. I have a bag. I have a pencil box. Yeah. Moral of the story: I don't need to buy pencils. I like the fact that this had mechanical pencils in my package today. That was just that was a plus, because I got so many pencils. It's such a pencil, pen, ink, supplies. I love all that stuff. I love all that stuff. I just realized I made her hair ties totally look different, and I don't care. And I'm gonna leave it like that. Ha ha. I am so gonna leave it like that. Oh, good. See, okay, I'm glad that, I hope that if you're, depending on how you're watching this, that you can see it pretty good. But, like, when I look on my laptop on the StreamYard, I can see it pretty good. The little phone screen is small. It's pretty small. So hopefully, if you're watching, you can see. So like I said, right now I'm just going around, and I'm gonna I was finding myself getting lost in her hair and playing what I was calling playing. And I just go with contour or shade or detail, whatever the hands tell me. But I want a visual of how she looks overall with all the pencil first. And so I went back to work. Because this is work. But in a good way. Like nothing I do. Last night it felt like torture. It felt like I was on a rack and someone was pulling my nails out and I had no anesthesia, or I was at the dentist and they were doing a root canal without any anesthesia. That's what it felt like last night to be alive. But that's okay. I'm okay with it. And it's funny because I got the piece I was working on is almost done now because I stayed on and did it. And yeah. So that'll be good. So when I'm done with the haiku section, I do know I made a decision today that I'm going to go put them into the manuscript. Now, whether I'm gonna play around with them, I might add some detail, I might manipulate the photos more, I don't know, haven't decided. I'm keeping all of the originals together as I go through this process, because Lord knows what I'll do with them when I'm done. Knowing me, they'll do one of two things. They'll either sit there and that's it and done. C'est la vie. Whatever. Or I'll pull them out and I'll paint them one day. Or if I don't paint the actual piece, then I might recreate it on canvas. That would be cool. I thought about that. I think I want to do that world one for sure, maybe on canvas, because especially when I was thinking about the light of the planet behind the people. Oh man. Oh, or the one that I did with the kids in the world today. I had another one. I have two with the world in it, which is kind of cool. I have two pieces where Mother Earth is in the center of the, or no, the one today was the sun. Oh, I get distracted. Okay. So, we will see. Okay. Let me try not to rush and try to get this just right, because I ended up sketching over the other piece I did, because I did so much erasing with the blue, even with the blue, because I just wanted it to be one I had sketched freehand, and I was like, you will get her jaw right, you will get her chin right, you will get her blah 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 right, and I just kept doing this mantra, and I did. And so then I'm like, okay, all right, so now and this is another reason why, if it comes out sufficient for what I have in my head, in my mind visually for the book, I will leave it. I will leave it without having any ink. It doesn't need it, you know. And I haven't even gotten to any of the shading or contouring or any of that stuff yet. I have some of the blue shaded like that, and I'm noticing that like by the time I'm done, I don't even have to worry about erasing any of it for the most part, because it's underneath the pencil. So yeah. And that's kind of like, especially with this one, like some of the other ones, so that was what I was finding, like especially with Sweet Girl today. I went off on one of those Dory moments where that piece came out of nowhere. Like when I did the original sketch, it was a pair of lips with the knife in front of it, and you could kind of see the woman's jaw line, and that was it. That was the intention. It was not meant to be the full image of a woman's face. It was meant to just be a knife over a pair of lips. That was the original intention. And then as I went, I got carried away. Before you knew it, I was drawing a blindfold, and then she came out of nowhere. And I love her. I love her. I'll call her Sweet Girl. That's another one that I may definitely, probably, eventually, maybe paint. Either paint that actual that page, or convert it and put it on canvas. Who Lord knows. I haven't decided. I still have time to decide. So I wanted this little girl in this painting, or in this particular piece, to have kind of a more old-fashioned type of dress on. So I looked up the collar of like an old, oh God, what is that religion? Not Mormon. The Quaker. I looked up Quaker, and I know it's not exact, which is fine because I didn't want it to be. And I made it as simple as possible, because I am going to study those little devices I got, and I'm going to probably come up with something to put on the lapel as a lace or something. This whole project was reminding me of a calendar I used to get every year. My friend Karen would get it for me too some years. It was called Cynthia Hart was the name of the woman. And I don't think she might have been the artist, but it was collages actually of art. And I don't think everything was hers, if any of it was hers. All I know is that she made the collages for the different months of the year. And it was all very Victorian would be what I would call it. Victorian would be definitely what I would call it. Okay, I am going to, again, remind myself, slow down. Slow. Doesn't have to be strong. Doesn't have to be dark. I could get so carried away. That part of me that wants to turn it into just an abstract kind of an idea where I just put a line there. You know, you get it. It's an eyebrow. No, that is not what we're doing today, Dory. Not on her. I might do that on a few of the other pieces, but... Yep. Eyebrows are funny to me. Like, I have huge eyebrows. I do nothing to them. I don't shape them. I just am not that girl. And and I like them. But when I'm drawing, when I sketch, I'm always sketching these like really super fine line, tiny, you know, like the kind of eyebrows that people spend a lot of money on. And I don't wear those. I don't have eyebrows like that. But I do them in my paintings. Because they're easy. They're easier than this idea that I'm going for here. And I think I'm still too dark, but whatever. I know how to use my eraser. My eraser and I are good friends when I need it. And I will keep going. And I love, okay, so I love the fact that the other thing that came to me today when I was doing ink and pencil on Sweet Girl is I was remembering some of the techniques I used to use with my charcoals. Where some of the work in the picture wasn't even about using the device, it was about using the eraser. The eraser was just as effective. After you would shade an area, you go back over it with some of the eraser in different spots, and you let the eraser take care of getting rid of what you didn't want there, that kind of thing. And I did that today, and it was cool. It reminded me of some of my charcoal pieces when I was younger. And some old, this kind of like some of that stuff that I remembered from when I worked at the Y came back to me today. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember. Oh yeah. Okay, here we go. Here comes a nose that's gonna make me crazy if I fuck it up. But it's just a pencil. But the thing is, like, even when it's just pencil, I can still fuck it up and ruin the thing if I have to do a lot of erasing, because, you know, again, it probably wouldn't matter much because I'm just going to take a picture of this for the digital, but if I ever do want to go back and turn these into an actual painting or something, it would be nice if the paper's not fucked up. I mean, that would be nice. That would be nice. Be nice. Try to just lightly pencil over the lines. It took me, oh my god, it took me forever to get this upper lip the way I wanted it. But I like her. Oh, I forgot to play what I had queued. I was going to play something in the background. Who's live? Other people. Be right there. My godmom said she couldn't hear me last night, but my sound was fine. I listened back to the entire thing. My sound was fine. So whatever, my sound was fine. Until the end. There was a point at the end where I turned off the camera that has the picture. Can you see her? She'll be easier to see when I get to the eyes. And like I said, I'm not going all that, trying not to get too dark with the pencil until I'm really confident I have the lines where I want them, because I'm still kind of like owning the fact it's okay to admit I don't normally do anything like this real, I guess is the way to put it, is the term. I hadn't even, like, my head hadn't even considered that, really. And luckily, like I said, I have friends who love me dearly, and they point stuff out to me, and they remind me, well, you know, that's just not your art, Dory. And I'm like, well, but it is. And she's like, no. You're more of an abstract realism person, and, you know, it's like, oh, okay. I didn't even know that was, I don't know. I didn't even know the categories, so whatever. But she helped me understand what it was that I do without me even being able to articulate it. You know, people ask me sometimes, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm just going for a look in my head. It comes out. And she's like, yeah, well, I'm pretty sure this is what you're doing. And I'm like, oh, well, you're probably right. I know, for sure. And let me see. I want to see if that helps. Gotta go. Which way do I go? There we go. So yeah. I had her in the original sketch when I was doing this. I had her looking the other way, and I didn't like it because it reminded me of another piece I just did recently. And I'm like, I don't want two of them with that same expression, really, per se. And so I changed her view. I changed what she's doing. I think I like that. Ow. Oh my god, I'm old. I'm old. Where's the other eye? There we go. Okay. This one, I don't know why, but this one was harder when I was doing the blue. It took me forever to get it. I hope I get this part right, because it took me forever to get it just how I wanted it. And I was like, when I'm sketching with pencil, and I can see, there's a difference in how I'm getting it, or getting the lines, or getting the look I'm looking for, because I had never used the blue pencil before, and I got to learn what I was doing wrong or what I was doing right, and it was it was a little frustrating, especially when I felt like, fuck, I'm a failure, nothing's working, I can't draw, I'm not good at this, why am I even bothering? And my head would go all over the place. And then I had to remind myself, like, that's how I felt when I first started working on canvas. The very first time I ever did anything on canvas, I was like, oh my god, I'm an idiot, why am I doing this? Because I had never worked with that, that's more of a it's not really a medium per se, but it definitely is it's a whole lot fucking different than being on paper. Whole lot different. And I don't even use like expensive canvas. Like, I would love to be able to afford some of the nicer canvases that have higher, better fabric and stuff like that. But I use what I can, because I'd rather be able to have something and sketch something and paint something than nothing at all. And so, yeah, okay. One of these days. But it's not today, and that's okay. That's okay. Oh, I like. I have done a few portraits before. Like, I did one of a friend with her son. I did. And that one I kind of left it in a little natural state. I did paint it. Probably would have been good to just leave it sketched, had I, been confident in myself to do that. Okay. Whoa. I don't know what I just did with that line. I'm not gonna like that line right there. I'll figure it out. Oh, go away, step away from it, Dory, and don't fuck it up. Okay. Where'd they go? Where'd she go? Can you see her? All right, so now, now that I've done some pencil to her, I'm going to play. And I've been online for 1 hour and 8 minutes. Wow. Oh my god. Okay. I am going to wrap this up. And, if you watched, if you are still, whoever that is that's here, thank you for hanging out. And I hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to sit here and just finish up around the eyes, do her lashes and stuff, and then I will probably go offline. I think I'm done for the moment. And I remember this whole eye thing, like I need to do with the eye. Oh, I still haven't touched that fucking ear. I I need to do with the ears and the nose what I did with the eyes. I probably could still do my eyes better if I worked on them again, like I did. But I did like this whole thing one time where I forced myself to really, really just keep at it until it was exactly right or whatever. And, you know, I don't think they're perfect, and that's okay. But I definitely know they're not anything like what I used to do. They used to be really bad. And I think I need to do that with something I'm not liking there. What am I not doing right? I need to do the same thing with the nose and the ears one day. I need to take the time to hone that skill, basically. Like, hone it for myself. No. See, now I don't know what I'm doing. I think I'm gonna fuck up her eye if I leave it. Where did I go wrong? Let me go back to my original. My girl. Just go. Take a deep breath, Dory. Take a deep breath. Start over. Start over. I do love her expression. I love how she just has, you know, this really sweet kind of thing going on. Like, she's not really serious. She's not sad. She's just, you know, she's just a girl. And she's just, you know, and I think if I had to, like, I think she kind of looks bored. Like, she kind of has a little bit of a look like she's bored. And maybe that's what it is. She's bored, but, you know. Anyway, I think... Oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm going to leave that alone until I rest my eyes and come back to this, because I'm almost there. Almost there. Almost where I want her. Almost. Not quite. Not quite. And I'm gonna go like this, because I do that. Because it's driving me fucking crazy. Now she's a one-eyed girl, but I'm gonna do it over. But I like her. I like her. Okay. I'm done. I'm done. My back wants me to lay back, and it wants me to kick up my feet and put on a movie and play with my shapes and stuff and make another cup of tea. And yeah, and that's about it. That's about it. Thank you so much. I didn't cry, so that's good. That's always good. Bye.